Welcome back to Just Jump, a show where we try to be nice and people just make it so difficult.
I'm being nice.
I'm not joking with that. We're very much like a positive first, like creative, watch TV shows, talk about them, be happy. Sports are sick. House of the Dragon's just not letting that happen, dude.
What happened? I slept like half the episode. So.
Nothing important. Well, actually, that's not true. A lot of important things happen, but that's part of the problem. It was too many like hidden little book dialogue moments that were all of the season and none of the action.
I feel like it's 8 episodes. We had one fantastic episode, and every episode was the same, basically.
I think I said this to you down there. Every episode was an episode 3. Like, besides the dragon fight.
It's a whole season is filler for season 3. Then the last episode is basically a 70-minute trailer.
And you're giving 2 years?
2 years.
2 years? You made us watch a whole season with one episode, arguably, that was like the big payoff moment, and a 70-minute finale that was essentially a trailer to season 3, as you just said. And you're making us wait 2 years so you can put on your other show that has nothing to do with any of it?
What's the show called again?
I think it's The Night, Sir Arthur Dane or something.
What show are we watching right now?
House of the Dragon.
What are the dragons doing?
They're just hanging out.
What are the
man.
dragons doing?
They're being claimed as property. I thought we got rid of this kind of stuff.
Dude, they're just hanging out.
We just found a random one in the field, which, by the way,
Damon's dragon he's been sleeping. He woke up today for the first time. He was like, "Oh wow, look at this."
That dragon that she found in the field, by the way, not supposed to be claimed by her. In the books, it's a completely different person. It's just a whole bunch of nonsense.
Well, one dragon's sleeping.
Yeah.
The other 3 dragons, they had to wake up because no one's been around for the other one. The other one, he's just eating in the field. He's having a midnight snack. Like, these dragons aren't even doing anything. They're just hanging out. They're just guys being dudes.
I'm going to make an excuse for one character, and then we can talk about how we feel about the whole season.
Sure.
Damon. Damon was kind of doomed from the start of this season because he easily had the biggest fall off. But what I have learned from the book readers is he's not really supposed to be in this season.
My favorite part of Damon was after we watched the end of episode 2, I believe it was, he got on the dragon and flew away, and I'm like, he's about to go off right now. Little did I know he was just setting himself up to just basically be the boy in the 3-year nap dreaming the whole year.
So in the book, apparently, it just keeps referring to him in Harrenhal. They're like, oh, and Damon's somewhere in Harrenhal. And that's all they talk about.
I'd rather them just do that instead of just showing us him dreaming.
They literally showed us Bran Stark is like not in an entire season of Game of Thrones.
Probably a good thing.
We could have done that with Daemon if we were just going to ruin the character.
Well, they couldn't. I'm like, you took the best character and just decided we're just going to try to mess this up as much as possible.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess, all right, let's start. Finale, 70 minutes long. A lot of chess pieces were moving. We've said that 7 times this season. A lot of chess pieces were moving.
There's too much politicalness going on in the world right now where I need to watch a TV show where it's all politics.
Dude, you know what? I actually think that's a really good point. I think that one of the biggest problems with a type of show like this right now is we don't need it. We need more like fake.
I need Ted Lasso back.
We're not watching Succession.
I need vibes.
I think they're I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that actually. I don't want to put other shows down. But I just don't know like at what point I can trust them again. Like, is season 3 going to actually be a ton of fighting? Because now I don't know.
Well, all I keep hearing about is how HBO is poor, and they just can't, make a budget anymore for crazy shit to happen.
That shocked me.
Yeah, HBO poor. Who would have thought?
I would say that this season and this... I keep going back to the season. We're supposed to be talking about the finale, but this season you could definitely see was affected by the writer's strike. Like, they were one of the only shows to continue production. They clearly had to work with just their 2 main writers and not really bounce off of anyone else because legally they could not. And it, like, affected them.
Just break the law.
Yeah, be a scab.
It's House of the Dragon. Everyone else is breaking the law.
Yeah. The finale was a lot of emotions flaring, a lot of people going back and forth. Helena just being like, you're all dumb. This is what's going to happen. Helena and, Alice, the girl at Harrenhal, they're the only ones that are like...
keeping the show going.
Yeah, they're like, nothing else is going on here. Like, I know what's going on here. We got a little bit of an Emilia Clarke Daenerys cameo. Because Daemon's most significant part of the entire season happens where he realizes what A Song of Ice and Fire is.
So that was a cool scene.
That was pretty cool.
His scene was cool. The talk about Alicent and Rhaenyra was very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, even like we were watching like the Barstool like recap thing. And Rhaenyra's like, son for a son. And Alicent just completely forgot her grandson's head was chopped off.
Yeah, it's true. That already happened. That trade went down.
Like,
yeah, let's highlight the
I feel like it was almost like a bad trade in fantasy football.
It's a very bad trade.
Like everyone's mad about it still, but it's like, well, no, we're even. The trade's already completed.
No, listen, they took.
You can't name an episode, a son for a son, and then say in the finale, well, by the way, that didn't count.
No, they literally traded like Primary and Foster for like Jeff Wilson Jr. That was a terrible trade. Terrible.
And Jeff Wilson Jr. got hurt the first game.
Yeah. Yeah, he never even got a chance to play.
Like he got like one carry and was like, coach, my hammy.
That blue dragon looked kind of cool. Let's talk about the things that were good about the episode. So you just named two. Rhaenyra and Allison's conversation was incredible. Those actors, dude, so good.
They're great.
Like they have like carried the show with their conversations because the amount of pain they just play two like scorned best friends so well, and it's probably because in real life it seems like they are best friends. So like the thought of them, they just depicted that conversation so well.
And it was great, like kind of going back to their first conversation, how the power shifted.
You know what it reminds me of actually? Remember in the movie Warrior with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton, like they have so much bad blood, but they're still brothers. So like those types of conversations remind me of Rhaenyra and Allison. Like there's so much tension, but they're always gonna like have some ground. Like they still like each other. I don't know. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the 2011 film Warrior. But
yeah, you probably should have seen that by now.
Yeah.
And then, you know what else I was kind of thinking about tonight? The first season, which is something that I wasn't like a big fan of, was the time jumps. We could have used 100 in this series.
I'm down, yeah.
This season, you could have given us 15 time jumps just to get this going along.
I agree. The other good thing, I think, Aegon, the actor that plays Aegon's a beast.
He's been great. Yeah, he was a big turnaround character this season for me, for sure.
Helena has been really cool. A character that you thought would be completely insignificant. If you didn't read the books, book readers, I know you're going to yell at me. I didn't read them.
I don't watch HBO because I read the books.
Yeah, I think that her character development's been very cool.
I feel like we were missing Otto, too.
Yeah.
Otto he's one of my favorite characters in the series, so him being gone kind of was like a little bit of a ugh. And like I think like Kristen Cole, was he even in the second half of the show?
I don't know.
Like Aegon gets basically burned, and from what we hear from Aegon, his cock is gone.
Yeah.
And Kristen Cole's just like, well, I'm out.
Well, also Kristen Cole, I told you earlier, is like one of the coolest characters in the books, and they have just completely taken that away. But again, more positives. Let's talk more positives.
No, go ahead. I'll let you go find the positives.
Hugh Hammer getting Vermithor. I think for 2 seasons we've been like, what? All right, was it just a season? Yeah, it was just. It might have been 2, but I know this season obviously was pretty important. For a few episodes, we were like, why are they showing this guy? You know, and he did get a cool moment. His buddy there sucks. What is that? Elf, whatever. That guy sucks. And then I would say that, you know, we all agreed earlier that Rhaenys was awesome. I think she had a great storyline going.
Yeah, it's like we lost Rhaenys and Otto almost the whole series, and it just kind of started to just spiral out of control. And I feel like this is the problem. Like, the shows are good. The episodes are good. It's just, it literally reminds me of the Barretts. We're basically at the same point we were at the beginning of the season.
You know, I have a weird take that I just thought about right now.
Sure.
I think that this season has been a little bit burdened by the idea of like kids carrying the show. Like Aegon, Aemond, like even Rhaenyra, we kind of look at as young Rhaenyra still sometimes. Alicent's still the same.
Jace stinks.
Who?
Jace.
Oh, Jace. Yeah, like it's a little too like kid forward because it feels like a bunch of kids fighting at the table.
Even like Aemond.
Which I guess is the point though, right? Like that is the point of why everything goes to shit because the wrong people get power. But Game of Thrones had those like child actors, but had such heavy hitters with the adults, like Peter Dinklage, like Lena Headey, like they just grounded it so much. Every time you got annoyed at like, you know, Helena playing with bugs or Jace just serving the same look for the entire season, like they don't really have like a Peter Dinklage.
And that's like kind of like Peter Dinklage's character almost. My biggest issue with like kind of watching this season was there's not a lot of humor in it, and there was some humor in Game of Thrones, and then they decided to take all the humor and put it in the last episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like there was a lot of humorous moments in this episode, and to me, I'm like, why was this the whole season?
I don't know. I guess it's that one character.
Like Aegon just laying in bed being like, my cock's gone. And he's like, when I piss, it goes down my leg. Like I was laughing, just sitting on the couch, just laughing. I was like, this is funny. But I'm like, why are we waiting until a finale when we literally were all waiting till this Sunday for like, all right, we're finally getting some dragons going at it. We're finally gonna get like a war, and it's almost like they ended it's like they ended the movie, and it's like, all right, well, part 2 comes out.
There's 2 thoughts I have going forward. One, I wonder how book readers took this episode, because a lot of the book reader friends that I had made it very clear to me that they thought this episode was going to be crazy.
I bet you book readers love the season because it's all dialogue.
So they did.
Yeah.
So there's a guy I work with who's like has read all of them, and he very much was like, "Trust me, this finale is going to be insane. If it's leading where I think it's going to be insane." So I wonder how he's feeling, because there has to be part of him that's like, damn, it's not going to be good for the brand. Like, people are not going to be happy about that.
I feel like this was us watching a book for 8 episodes.
Yeah.
There was very minimal action.
And 2,
the amount of like deaths they didn't show us either. Like the amount of times like we would just, they're just like panning in and there's just 100 people that look like they just got burnt toast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys couldn't show us that?
No budget.
I mean, no, it's HBO.
The other thing deriving from the book question, as someone who knows I do know who ends up winning. Like, I know who is in the positions of power. I will say, pretty interesting, like, where everyone's at right now, because it doesn't, like, it's a little confusing. Like, if you know who's supposed to win this whole fight and you watch that last episode, there is a part of you that's like, oh, how? Like, this is kind of confusing. But I don't know. I struggle to find anything more good to talk about it. You've been trying to keep high hopes for a while. I've been probably since episode 5 pretty harsh on the show, and I think I was right to do so.
No, I tried my best to.
What you did was necessary.
Like, I was like, the TV episodes are good. The writing's been pretty solid. The directing's been great. I'm like, get us to that moment. And then we get to the moment, and they gave us no moment.
There is one thing I kind of want to copy from the Barstool guys, and they get full credit if this ever becomes a very big episode. I will have you know that My Mom's Basement did this first. I liked them doing LVP and MVP. I would like to do that. So I guess we'll start. Let's do 2 each, because there is like a lot to be said here. Let's go LVPs first. Who is the least valuable players of this season? Damon. Yeah, Damon's one. We could just etch that out immediately. He's definitely both of our ones. And then who's your second?
Second LVP.
I actually think you and I can agree on another person. Do you want me to say it, and then you can see it? Tell me if you agree.
Let's see, yeah.
Kristen Cole.
I didn't hate him. I just hated the fact he's kind of just irrelevant after the midway point of the season.
He wasn't bad for the first 4 episodes.
Like, I didn't understand.
You might have talked me out of it, right?
Yeah, like
there.
everyone being like, "Oh, we hate him. That's his job. No free ads.
Yeah, you might have talked me out of that, actually. I might be gone already. I'm easily swayed. Okay, I'm good with one LVP then.
You know what? LVP, the Dragons.
Yeah, it's
What'd
true.
they do?
Nothing. They had 1 episode.
Like, they did nothing.
And I think Damon was so far ahead of anyone in the LVP race, and not of no fault of his own.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not even his fault.
Yeah, Matt Smith is an incredible actor, and he showed that he is going to carry the show in season 1, and then just didn't get the chance to.
I got it. Jace.
That's tough.
Yeah, he stinks.
So I have a little bit of a soft spot for him, because I saw a TikTok live of him like being sad that people were making fun of his look, because you know he always walks around like this.
Yeah, well, don't do that.
So I do feel a little bad for him, but another thing that's not really his fault.
Do you have to go to work tomorrow?
I do, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't feel bad for him.
Another thing that's not really his fault, though. I wouldn't say like he has the best written character ever. Like, it's just kind of a boring character.
That's why he's got an L in front of VP.
All right, MVPs.
Aegon.
Yeah. His character from start to finish has been awesome.
He developed perfectly. Even the episodes where he couldn't do anything, he was just laying there, and you could just like the acting he did with his eyes.
Yeah,
was just fantastic.
That's one of those actors that I hope gets a lot more jobs from this opportunity. Part of me worries that this is such a big machine that he won't. You know, I hope he does though. I hope we see that guy everywhere, because dude, he's dominating this role.
He's been fantastic.
And
not definitely a character that they were setting up for you to hate.
Yeah.
And he kind of, which you did hate, but he was playing the like frantic king so well that you were like, oh, well, the character's fantastic. And then they did such a great job of like, well, now we sympathize with him.
That's what Game of Thrones does really well, though. Like, there's characters in the Game of Thrones series that you want to see their head on a spike.
Yeah, like I thought we were getting the Joffrey treatment with him. Like,
yeah,
the way they were setting it up, like,
well, he's actually the only one. I would argue he's the only one who has ever been start to finish just the worst.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of other characters in Game of Thrones. There's so many characters that you hate for like a whole season, and then they just do something to like bring them right back down. Like Cersei Lannister, you know who Cersei is? Yeah. There's a couple episodes where you're like, damn, that sucks. And then she just goes back to being the worst ever. But it is cool that good writing can do that. But I agree, yeah, Aegon. And then my other MVP, probably, it's not a ton to pick from. I think I'll probably go we already talked about it, Helena. I liked Helena a lot. Actually, I ought to say Helena. I liked Helena a lot. So, king and queen. Husband and sister wife. Those are my favorite.
Husband and sister wife.
Here's the thing. I'm going to watch season 3. But I will not watch it. I will stop watching it if the first 3 episodes stink. I won't go 10. I won't go 8.
There's no way the premiere is bad.
Emma. Gotta yell at my dog real quick.
There's no way the premiere is bad.
It has to be good, dude. And you know what they did?
If they get us to the premiere and it's still everyone just showing up, and then like episode 2 is the big battle, I'm gonna go crazy.
Dude, they're in 2 years. They're only doing that, maybe 1, a budget issue, but 2, for their other stupid show, which probably will be good. But still, like, just Game of Thrones was getting this shit off every year, and it was 10 times the scale of this. With way more characters.
And more episodes.
More episodes. Better visual effects. Like, stop lying.
Nah, the budget.
The budget.
Hey, we're in the month of August now. Rings of Power, your move.
I know.
Your move.
Rings of Power has just been given the greatest opportunity ever.
Because we were. Yeah. This is how we were talking about Rings of Power at the end of season 1. Like, it was the gap of the first season of these shows was every episode was getting bigger and bigger. The House of the Dragon was a better show.
Yeah.
And now Rings of Power has all the leeway.
We tried to keep Rings of Power alive in the eyes of the internet. Certainly tried.
I'm not pumped to watch Rings of Power, but you put a Lord of the Rings name on something, I have to watch it.
No, I feel like
I didn't watch all the Hobbits and I was like, yay, these are great. I watched them all though.
That's true. I feel like we're literally on like this feels like there's like 3 seconds left in the game. And, like, the worst player on the defense somehow just got an interception, and we got to see if they can run it back.
Isn't it funny how pumped we were for June TV, and it just felt very disappointing?
Yeah, I think the
Bear was disappointing.
Yeah,
The Bear and the House of the Dragon are so similar to me because I feel like we did not get a lot of plot holes tied in. We feel very similar to how we felt going into the season at the end of the season, but they had that one banger episode in the middle.
Yeah, I liked 2 episodes of The Bear, but I would say that they share one bad quality, and they both were able to do good episodes individually, but not tell a good story.
Yeah.
And I think with The Bear, it's like, I mean, The Bear ended the season as if another season's coming out in 6 months.
Oh, I thought I thought we were getting almost like a season 2 part B. It wasn't even going to be a season 3 or season 4, I guess, technically.
All right, so let's end it with the final. We'll do episode rating, season rating. Episode rating, you go first.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't hate the episode. I hate it as a finale.
That's what they've been doing to us, though. The Bear did this, and now House of the Dragon's doing this. All of the episodes are decent episodes. They just don't do anything for the story. So are they decent? I sniffed that out early, and I was hoping to be wrong.
So, like, my average rating is going to be my average rating is going to be higher than what I actually think the rating is as a whole of a season.
You dug yourself a hole the last two episodes. But it was good. It was a positive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this week was better than last week.
It was a positive
What
hole.
am I going to give it, a fucking 9?
Yeah.
No.
You gave last week like an 8.6 or something.
8.7.
That's crazy.
I didn't think it was bad TV.
All right, well, go ahead. Give it an 8.8.
I have to. I have to give it an 8.8.
Oh, my gosh. All right, I'm going to give it a 5 flat. Because, I like you just said, I don't think it was
you gave last week like a 6.5.
I know.
You thought this was worse than last week?
When you don't give me anything, I'm docking you.
They gave you some stuff, though.
They gave me no fights. I don't watch Game of Thrones to hear them talk, you know? That's like, well, I don't go to Star Wars to see them put their lightsabers
I
away.
mean, who goes to Star Wars? Come on, guys. What's it, 1978?
Part of the issue with these Star Wars TV shows, no lightsabers.
I didn't even know there were Star Wars TV shows.
What do you think I'm here for? You think I don't know.
Wait, they don't have lightsabers?
No, it's just
I'm
purely.
gonna get off.
Yeah,
Get back into it.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 5.
What would you give this season as an overall?
Okay, so I'm somewhere in, but I'm trying to be Dave Portnoy decimal guy,
Yeah, you gotta be the decimal guy.
but I don't think I want to give it a decimal, and I think I can explain why
Give a
after.
rookie score though.
I'm gonna give a rookie score in a veteran way. So I'm in between. I want to. I don't want to give it a 7.1 because I think that implies that it was just a little bit above like standard. And I don't want to give it a 6.9 because I don't think it was just a little bit below standard. I think 7 is perfect. I think I'm glad I watched it, but I'm disappointed in the results.
Now we have to. I was trying to see what does mine average out to.
I don't know.
Let's see what we get to.
Yeah, because now you got to give a season score that's like, yeah. Because that's why I just gave the finale a 5 because I dropped myself down real quick.
All right, hold on. See, we got.
Go 1 through 8. Just rattle them off.
So I had 8.3, 8.6, 8.1, 9.2, 8.4, 8.6, 8.7, 8.8.
So you're literally at like 8.4 or 8.5.
I don't think that's that bad actually.
Well, actually, no. You have to go higher because you gave someone a 9.2. You're in like the 8.6, 8.7 range.
All right, so my 8.8 and my 9.2 averages out to a 9.
Yeah.
And then my 9 and my 8.6 average out to 8.8.
Yeah.
And then I have my 8.4.
Just go to your highest and lowest, and you'll
8.6.
answer your question right there.
No,
And then,
it doesn't answer like that.
no,
does it?
because then then you can see if you have more higher or lower. So what's your lowest?
8.1,
And your highest is 9.2?
9.2.
So you'd be 8.6 at 5, technically. 8.65.
8.55.
Yeah, so you're essentially a little bit higher because you have to be like an 8.6, 8.7 because you gave more high scores than low scores.
I'm going to give it an 8.3 total.
All that math for no
I'm going to give
reason.
it an 8.3 total.
Okay.
I still thought I watched good television. I just don't think I came away with anything at the end. It's kind of like when you're drunk and you get like you order your favorite fast food, and it's great in the moment,
Yeah,
but then like 20 minutes after, you're like, I didn't need to do that. Why did I do that?
that'll happen.
So there you go. That's a good analogy. You're never upset pounding some McDoubles. You're definitely upset 20 minutes after they're gone.
We're out.
Look at that.
That was just jump. Our other episode, we're talking about the tribal chief. Come hang out.